Right. Okay. Last week we have discussed about. Have we discussed about the colors and entities? I think we have, right? Colors and entities. Linoja. Yes. Have we discussed about colors and entities? Yes. That is the part that we have discussed last day, right? Okay. Then today. So we have not started list. Is it? Have we started or not? Colors, yes, we discussed. Right. There is a small change like that. So what I have done, I just wrote this in binary and then converted to the hexadecimal, and then wrote the color code in hexadecimal and then wrote the color. So same thing, but the thing is, instead of writing only hexadecimal, I wrote the binary, and then binary I wrote 4 by 4. You know how to convert from binary to hexa. You have to write 4 by 4, and each set you can convert by looking at the hexadecimal table. So after that, I have written that in 6 hexa codes and then wrote the color name. So this is what I have done. So you can just take a screenshot if you want. So I just explained what is the binary and what is the relevant hexa and also the color. So if you want, just take a screenshot of this. Okay, so in RGB colors, each color will take 8 bits. So all 3 color will take 16 bits, 24 bits. Therefore, there will be combination of altogether there will be 2 to the power 24 colors, which means 16 million colors in RGB color scheme. So that we have discussed, and then came to the entities. Entities are so nothing other than this. These are special characters which are used so. Why entity as I use? Because one thing is entities can be used to write HTML, and also entities can be used to express special symbols, and entity code can also be used, that is to express other languages, especially hexadecimal, sorry, especially this Unicode and other ASCII characters. We can write those things in hexa code. So that is how entities can be used. So this part we have already discussed. And then we discuss about the white space insensitivity and how can we address white space insensitivity of HTML, and also about the empty tags and attributes. Right? Empty tags are the tags which are not having content. If tag is not having any content, we call that tag as empty tag. And that the specialty of empty tag is it is self-closing. It's closing by its own, no specific closing tag. Example, you can say BR open, BR close. You don't have such, that is wrong. BR open, BR close. You don't have such tag pair in BR open and BR close. You don't have such, so this is wrong. You don't have such tag pair in empty tags. Instead of that, you have only BR open, that will be self-closed. So that is what empty element or self-closing tags. And image tag we have not yet discussed, that is also a self-closing tag. And also input tag we have not yet discussed, that is also a self-closing tag. So these are also attributes. Attribute is a name value pair. So we discussed about that, and attribute can be used to further describe tag. Attributes are only used in, sorry, this is wrong. Attributes are only used in opening tags. So not in the closing tags. In closing tags, we are not going to write any attributes. Then proper nesting of elements. This also I have explained what is nesting and how nesting is done. I have just explained that. It is like you have a large bucket. Into that you have to put small bucket, and what you do, you open the large bucket, then put the small bucket in, close the small bucket, and finally close the large bucket. So this is what happened. P open, that is the large paragraph bucket. So just understand. And then the B open, that is bold, and B closed. Then I open, that is italic. This is B, right? Then I, same level, right? Italic is open. And then underline is open. And then underline closed. Then italic closed. This is what they do. And finally, you can close the paragraph. This is what the nesting, proper nesting should be done this way. So the whatever the, so you call last come must be first closed. Last included text must be first closed. So last in, first out method. That is how you close the tags. So that is called nesting of tags. Nesting of tags or elements. Okay, now you have a clear idea about how nesting happens, what are the attributes, what are the empty elements, and now we can move to the lists. So there are 3 types of lists in HTML. So the list number 1, type number 1 is ordered list. Ordered list is kind of numbered list. There are 5 kinds of numbers, that is this. So let me write quick code on this about this ordered list. So you have to write everything inside body tag. Still we are talking about that. There are some elements written in the head element, written the head inside head, but still we didn't discuss that. So for the moment we are discussing about the tags included in the body element. So ordered list, the tag is OL. You have to remember the name. OL means ordered list. And inside that you have the list item. So this is the default structure. So let's say you have a list called pen, pencil, pen, pencil, let's say another one, eraser. Let me save this in the desktop. I'm going to save this in the desktop. Save this in the desktop, abc.html. And let me open that now. So my abc.html file, a lot of files are there. Here it is. Let's open that and you can see showing 1, 2, 3. That is the default. Default means when you have not given any type of specific type, it will be displayed as 1, 2, 3. It will be displayed as 1, 2, 3 when you have not mentioned anything. And let me nest it. I'm going to copy this and paste inside this. So that is nesting. So inside this ordered list, I'm going to have another ordered list, same thing. I'm going to nest it. Again, default style. So this can be asked in the examination. So be careful, carefully analyze. Then what? Then still you can see 1, 2, 3. Right? So this 1, 2, 3, again you can see 1, 2, 3. And if you further, so if you go and further write that, so but in the word, you know, automatically it will be changed to the next symbol. Word wala ilanga level eකට change වෙනවා 1 2 3 නම් abc hari මොකක් හරි. But here it's not. It's repeating 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I have nested this list inside this list and that inside this list. This is triple nesting. Nested one inside one inside. So පළවෙනි list එක යටතේ තමයි මේ තියෙන දෙවෙනි list එක තියෙන්නේ. දෙවෙනි list එක යටතේ තමයි මේක තියෙන්නේ. But still you can see this default style is 1 2 3. So that you have to understand. The 1 2 3 is the default style. But if you have changed this by giving the type, there are 5 kind of types. You can see these are the available types. So either you can say the default one explicitly you can mention, but still it is default, right? ඒකම තමයි. මේක කිව්වත් නැතත් ඒ විදිහටම තමයි. But type I will give you simple Roman numbers. 1 2 3. Type capital I will give you capital Roman numbers. That is 1 2 3. So what happens if you nest something inside this? So can you tell? Can you guess? I'm nesting without the type. Then what? So these are the things that I cannot teach. Why? So these are the things you have to practice. I can't teach that because there are a number of ways you can combine. Practically, you can test. Then what will happen? First is you can see the simple Roman number 1, 2, 3. No? What about the second sublist under the first list? Will it be 1, 2, 3 or will it be Roman numbers? Tell me your answer. Don't do that. Don't do that practically. Without doing that, guess and tell me the answer. Will it be 1, 2, 3 or will it be Roman numbers? Come on, guys, tell your answer. Netuli? Situ, what's your answer? Varun?
Roman numbers.
Roman numbers, okay. Let it be. So I'm going to check this. You can see it's 1, 2, 3, right? So these are the things that can be tested in the examination, right? So these are doubtful points. You know the code. I know you can create a list very easy. But the thing is, when it is changed like this and given in the examination, think what will happen. Default is default. When it is not mentioned, the default is 1, 2, 3. When it is not mentioned, it will be taking its defaults. So this can even be ABC type, simple. See, still the second is not changed. This can even be capital ABC type, still no change of the second list. So understand, if it is not explicitly mentioned, it is taking its 1, 2, 3 style normally. There are 5 numbers. So one is English capital letter, English simple letter, Roman number capital, Roman number simple, and normal numbers. So those are the 5 available list types. So please copy this down quickly. So I really like if you can copy. Why? The reason, because this is small thing, but the thing is for remembering purpose, please copy this down. So no need to write the example. Actually, example, you can just test it, right? Example, you can test it. Okay, I have to teach another one, so don't write the example for the moment. Only write this part. And also ignore the singular note. Only write the English version. Right. So another thing, another property while you write, please listen while writing. And another thing is the starting. The second attribute is starting position. So you can write ordered list without any attribute, right? Remember that without any attribute, ordered list can be written, but in that case, it will automatically take the default number in, that is 1, 2, 3. Default number in 1, 2, 3. If you mention the attribute, if you mention the attribute type, so it will take the given. So starting position also you can give. Starting position, let's say starting position is 8. Then it will be starting with the 8th English character. Right? Not number 8, it's 8th English character, which is H-I-J. H-I-J. If you tell 2, it is second, which is B. Right? Likewise, you can, so if it is Roman numbers, you can see starting position. So it will be like that. So if you give a large number still, so it is possible to start, right? You know, these Roman numbers are applicable. So if you start with the English letters, what will happen? So you can see it's taking double letters, then triple letters. Likewise, let's say it's a very, very big number like this. So still it will take that. Right? So only thing is keep adding letters. Keep adding letters. If it is normal version 1, 2, 3, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you can see 20,000, and so this is what's taken. But it is like again added the zeroed format. It's not 200,000. It's not going up to that level. You can see now. You can see the character, and because like okay, now I think you can see. Right, the next is when I add like so this Roman numbers, it will this that using the Roman numbers. Save and so what has happened? So it should be Roman numbers. I have saved, reloaded. And let's take ABC type. You can see capital Roman numbers. So it's like it's displaying the normal numbers. These are kind of buggy things. These are bugs. So you can see. But when I mention 100, so that availability is there. You can see it's 100, 1,000 even. It lists 10,000. You can see when you go to the 10,000, coming back to the normal numbers. These are, so you know what? I experienced this just now. So that is what I said. You know what? I have experienced this just now, because when I try to show you, only I realize that when it is very large number, it is taking the normal numbers. So these are the things, these are the things to experiment. That's why I said that I cannot teach you everything. You do the changes and see. So what will happen? So let's try for the 9999 or 9,000. Will it happen for 9,000? No. Yes, it's happening for 9,000 even. So will it happen for 8,000? Yes, for 8,000 even. So will it happen for 5,000? Yes, still 1,000. There are 2,000. Yes, there are 3,000. Still, then 4,000. You can see, no. For 3,000 range, it is supporting 3,900. So let's try 3,900. Still, but after that, you can see it's dropping, right? It's dropping down. So when it exceeds the particular number in level, so when you count to 4,000, it's reverting back to the normal. These are special cases, right? These are special cases. So just study these things, just do the experiments and see what will happen. But don't worry, in the examination, they won't ask this kind of bias questions. But the thing is, still they can ask, right? Still they can ask by giving a very large number, what will happen. So likewise, they can ask. You can test this. There are margins. So for simple Roman numbers, same margins apply. The capital Roman number, simple Roman number, same margins apply. You can say when I tried 4,000, so it's not. And then ABCD, but ABCD, this thing it will apply, right? Because it can apply 3-letter format. Even for a very large number, it can display this. Here you can see for very large number, it can display, but normal numbers also you can see. So when it comes to very large number, it will drop down. It will drop down. For normal numbers, it's only 5 digits, right? After 5 digits, numbering, it drops. But for ABCD, you have a chance. For ABCD, you have a chance, but still dropping. So these are limits, right? For very high limits, it won't be available. So these are some additional points that you need to know. But for the normal circumstance, they will ask these questions, right? If it is AN4, it is ABCD, DEF. If it is IN4, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in Roman. If it is capital I, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in Roman. If it is 1, 2, 3, normal 1, ABCD. So the starting position, you can now write the example. Rather than writing this, you can test this. So just test this in your, coding interface. You can either try it in your website, or you can try Notepad and save it as HTML in your desktop or somewhere else. So if you have questions up to here, please ask. Right. The next is unordered list. Unordered list. So similar to the ordered list, and you can write down both unordered list as well as the definition list. So please remember, in the examination, they can ask about the tag names when you give us UL. So they will ask, what is this? Unordered list. LI, list item. Similar to the ordered list, only two tags, ordered UL, unordered list, and list item. But attributes, please consider. So you cannot put a starting point. Why? It is useless. So let's take unordered list. If you take unordered list, it is useless to put starting point. Why? So let's say you have mentioned unordered list type I start for unordered list, right? So these things can be asked in the examination again. So please be concerned. This is odd because unordered list you don't have type I කියලා එකක් unordered list වල නැහැ. You only have circle, disk and square, and out of that disk is the default. Disk is the default. So type I start 4. Type I start 4. So let's see what will happen when I go and refresh the page. You can see it is still bullets, right? No such thing. So only the default will be taken. So you can see it's default. Type I start 4. Nothing will be considered. It will go to the default. Okay. What is default? Default is disk, D-I-S-C. Disk is the default. Okay, what about if I nest? What happens if I nest? So should be the default, right? So you know that recently you learned that it is the default. Previously also you got the default. So this time also you should get the default, but see the difference. So that is why in the examination you will face real troubles. Then ordered list වල මේක අපි කරානේ. නේ? Ordered list වල we did this in ordered list. Okay, we did the same thing in ordered list. When we nest in the ordered list, it has not changed the default format. But when we nest in unordered list, it is changing the default format. Okay, let's say the third level nesting. So let's try to nest another level. Here, another level nesting. So when nesting happens, so see what it will do. It will change the format. Starting from this, moving to the circle, ending with, so what happened the fourth level? So that also you could try. Fourth level nesting. List inside, list inside, list inside, list. So fourth level nesting will be again, right? Again, but square. After that, no further levels. So square will be this. So these points are very important, right? These will not be covered in online tutorials. But in the examination, you have to consider these things seriously. So what happened? So tell me that. What happened? Ordered lists are nested. Is it changing the default symbol? When ordered lists are nested, is it changing the default symbols or not changing? Pute, you all are advanced level students. You have to answer. In the default level, so sorry, when ordered list, when we are nesting without mentioning anything, is it changing the symbol or is it fixed? Is it not changing or changing? No answer. Netuli, Linoja, get the question correctly. Ordered list, in the ordered list, the previous discussion. When I nest this means when I include list inside another list. List එකක් ඇතුලේ තව list එකක් දැම්මොත්. Is it changing the symbol or is it still like, is it changing or not changing? So I'm becoming hopeless now.
Not changing.
Yes, you have to tell, right? It's not changing. So what is the default? Yes, Sito? What is the default?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's not changing, right? 1, 2, 3, and it is not changing. So 1, 2, 3, and it is not changing. So you can see. But when I nest unordered lists without mentioning, when I nest unordered list without mentioning what? Without mentioning the type. The default is disk. But when I nest without mentioning the type, it will change the symbol. So see the difference. Ordered list, unordered list, in unordered list, it is change in the symbol. When I nest, it's going to the next symbol. Disk to circle, circle to square, square to again square, right? After that also square, right? Nest level still you can see the square only because it is not changing, right? So if you so let me write inside this, if I write, so no worries, so you can see it still it is square because after square it's not changing. After the square it's not changing. It's changing 2 levels. Okay, so please understand these things, do the experiments, otherwise you will miss some marks. Okay, let me mention the type. Type, let's say circle. So then it will display in the given type circle. So what about the next level? If I try to include another one, next level, so what should be? Guess it and tell me. I'm going to erase the circle, and inside this list, I'm going to list another list. So what will be the symbol? Is it square, or is it circle, or is it disk? What will be? What it will be? Yes, only Situm is answering. Okay, Situm, tell me the answer.
Square.
Okay, so it is square. See, right? This is the wonder. So see how confusing these things are. Right? That is why you have to do the practicals. So when I start from circle, when I keep nesting inside, so you can see it is fixed to the circle. It's not changing. If I nest again, still not changing. These are the special things. Now you can see the third level. So what is the secret? Anyway, the second level nesting is whatever the first level will not be considered. The second level nesting is definitely a circle when it is not given. The third level nesting is definitely square. Can you understand the theory behind that? First level එකේ තිබ්බොත් එක්ක default ගන්නවා. Either it will take default will be a disk, right? The second level is circle, third level is square. So that is the order. First level disk, second level circle, third level square. So if I explicitly mention the type for the first level, let's say type is square, still the second and third level remain unchanged here, circle and square. Because the second level is circle, third level is square. So let me explicitly mention the second level also. Otherwise, you will not realize. That's why I'm doing all the practicals. But don't expect the same level always. You also need to do the practical. Let's say the second level, I'm going to change it to square. Second level, I'm going to change it to disk. If I explicitly mention, it will change. Now square, disk, and the default will be right. Okay, so then we have to do small change in the node. So what is the change? Disk is default for the first level. Then circle is default for the second level. And square is default for the third level. Right, let me do some another thing, right? So this will be more interesting. If I include this inside ordered list, OL and OL. So let's say type is A, B, C, D. Now OL, inside OL you have unordered list. And so what will be the third level? So that is my question. So let me check, and you can see still it is square, right? Hinda එක ගැන හිතන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඒ තියෙන level එක අනුව default එක තමයි ගන්න. First level එකේ තිබ්බොත්, ඒ කියන්නේ මුල්ම level එකේ තිබ්බොත් default එක disk. Second level එකේ තිබ්බොත් default එක circle. Third level එකේ තිබ්බොත් ඒක ordered unloaded කියලා වැඩක් නැහැ. Third level එකේ තිබ්බොත් it will be in the third level it will be square. So that is the thing that you need to update. So please write down. So these are the default It depends on the level. Otherwise, you can explicitly mention the type. You can explicitly mention the type. So please write down unordered list not. So this has difference because the previous one, the default is only the 1, 2, 3 list, but this has 3 defaults according to 3 levels. And also you don't have the starting number. So instead of that, you can mention, so you can just do this practical to understand after doing this. So please write the note, then do the mention practical. I'll give you 5 minutes. Quickly do this. Right, now the third one is definition list. So that is also similar to the above 2 lists, but there is a fundamental difference, that is all 2 ordered list, unordered lists both had ordered list and unordered list was both lists had only 2 tags, but here in the definition list there are 3 tags. So you can see, so DL started with the definition list and DT is a term, it is HTML, and DD is the description. The preview you can see, so this is the preview that you can see. So let me add this list quickly. I'm going to copy and paste to save the time. So this is my definition list, and so let's save it, and I'm going to refresh. Now you can see when I refresh, so this is the output. So definition list is basically used to show the abbreviation or glossary. So these things, and maybe for other formatting also you can use with the styles. So that is the third type of list, definition list. Then, so very important section ahead, that is actually nested list. Okay, so I'll give you small one, a nested list. Try to give the code for this. So do this as I'll give you 5 minutes. So you can send me the code to chat, or you can show me the code after doing this. If you are doing in the computer, you can share the screen and show me after completing this. So please try to do this. This has a special, so this is a mixture. This is called nested list, lists inside the list. We saw how to do that. Actually, I need you to do this before we go to the next tables. So please try to show me the output, or try to give me the code quickly. Right, when I save like that, yes, okay, I got your code. You can see it's coming, it's displaying like this, right? But when I remove this part in your code, you have just removed it. So when I remove this part, you can see the second level default is circle. That is why the circle will appear. To avoid that, you have to explicitly mention the type is disk. So only Situm has sent that within the given time, so others can copy this down. But the thing is, I expect all of you to do this because these are not difficult, right? These are not difficult. This is the code and this is the expectation. And to get the red color, you need to format the styles to get the red color. Other things, so I didn't expect that, but I just expect that the output, and you can see it's there. So just take a screenshot or copy this down. Okay, let's move to the tables now. Okay, I hope you have taken the screenshot. Practice it with this. So this is really necessary. Do this practically. Then you doing this practically, you will get better exposure. I always recommend you to do this practically because you know what will happen if you're not doing this practically, you won't get this confirmed. So test every way, every possible way. Your mistakes will give you more knowledge than I teach. So when you listen to my lesson, when you listen to the recording, you can learn something. I agree. But so out of the knowledge that I have given, that I'm giving, out of that knowledge, you will get only a proportion. So it's not possible to get 100% of that. That is never happening. You will not, even you listen 10 times, 15 times, you cannot get 100%. So that is for sure. You will not realize as Then if you're not practicing, you will only keep the things that I have given. But if you're practicing, you will commit some mistakes. You will do some mistakes. So through the mistakes, you can learn more things than just listening to the lesson. So do this. Get the errors. Get your hands dirty. So we call that in coding, get your hands dirty. That means work, code, then learn. So that will be better experience than just listening to a lesson. Okay, so the next move is I just want to show you this table part. Let's quickly move to the table part and try to finish that, finish the initial section. So we can do the other thing in the next day, but before that, in today, so let's try to finish the initial section of tables. Right, tables are used for two purposes. One thing is to display data in the tabular format. That directly we can use the tables. So let's say you want to give a mark list, you want to display some other kind of list, you want to display invoice, something like that, and you want to present that in the table format, tabular format. You use tables. That is straightforward. The second thing is, it is not straightforward, but to divide page into sections and lay out it, we are using tables. Any web page can be presented, can be like separated into the sections, or can be laid out using tables. So let's learn that both. Presenting data in a table format, tabular format, or dividing page into sections. Anyway, you need to learn some fundamental properties of this table. In the table, so you have rows and you have columns. In between, there are cells. Those are data. And you have margin, so that is border, the outside. And in between cells, you have something called cell spacing. That is a gap between two cells. Cell spacing, gap between two cells. And then you have the content, gap between the content and the cell border. That is called padding. So these are very important terms, right? Border is what is outside. Padding is the gap between the border and content. Let's say hello. Me hello කියලා ලියන වචනේ සහ border එක අතර පරතරය. That is called padding. Right? So then the margin, actually the cell spacing is space between two cells. Okay, let's see one practical thing and then you can write down this. So first of all, let me show some practical. So let's include the table tag. Adding table tag will do nothing, right? No visible formatting will be there in the page. Let me save this. Save, go back, refresh, nothing is there. So let's add border equal 1. Save, refresh. You can see a dot, small dot. If border equal 1, you can see a dot, but nothing else. Right? So if it is just table විතරක් නම් මෙලෝ දෙයක්. මේ තිතක්වත් නැහැ. හොඳට බලන් ඉන්න. මෙතන මොකුත් නැහැ. හොඳට බලන් ඉන්න. border equal 1 වුණාම ඔන්න ඒක උණ හැටි මෙතන තිතක් එනවා. So look at the here, there will be small dot. Here, this is the dot. But nothing will be. Let's add a width. Width equal, let's say 300. Save, and you can see a line. So let's add the height. Height equal, let's say 200. Save, and you will see outline now. If you remove the border 1 property, border 1 attribute, just cut it, you will see nothing again. Even you have width and height, cannot see anything. But if you have the border property or border attribute, then you can see the outline border. So that is the table. Okay, let's add more things. In a table, you have rows. Table row. Adding rows will do nothing again. You cannot see anything. So let's add 2 rows. You won't see anything again. Having multiple rows, you won't see anything. So let's add data into the tables now. Table data. These are the cells. I have added 1 cell, refresh, and you can see that cell. 1 cell is filled the table. So let's add another cell to the next row. And now you have 2 cells in 2 rows. So let's make it more. 3 cells, 3 cells. Now the top one will have 3 cells, the bottom one 3 cells. Now you can see the architecture. Inside the table row, table data will be there. Other than table data, you can do the same by adding table heading, TH. TH will be similar to table data, but small change will be there. Let me add some data here. A, in between the second cell, I'm adding B, third one C. So let me add this data, then D, E, F, D, E, and F, D, E, and F, save it, refresh it. You can see the A, B, C, D, E, F, both all are aligned to the left border, but this is automatically bold and center. That is because the TH property, bold and center. TH will make it bold and center. If I replace by a traditional TD or TD table data, that will be a normal left aligned content. But TH will make it bold and center. So I'll give the note, don't worry, I'll give the note. So before you do that, so let's understand. Then border. If I increase the border, what will happen? Border equal 1, let's make border equal 10. You can see the outside border is appearing now. Border equal 10 will give outside border. So let's add more space between cells. Cell spacing equal, let's say 5. Then there will be 5 pixel space between the cells. Okay. So looks like Windows because you have more space. Let's add 50. Then there will be very big space between the cells. So that is not good. So let's add 10. Considerable. You can see that. And cell padding. Cell padding. Cell padding means gap between the cell border and content. So let's add cell padding 10. And you can see 10 pixels. This will be here. The space will be 10 pixels from the border. So let's add 100. There will be 100 pixel space. And it looks like center line, but what has happened? Initially, put 100 space there. So that is why you can see this 100 pixel space. So let's add 50 pixels or 30 pixels, and you can see according to that, the alignment happened 30 pixels now. So since this is 300, if I put 100, it will be, so if I put 50 actually, not 100, if I put 50, then it will try to balance. Why? 50 from here, 50 from here. මෙහෙම 50යි මෙහෙම 50යි 100යි. මෙහෙම 50යි මෙහෙම 50යි 100යි. මේ පැත්තෙන් දෙපැත්තෙන් 50යි 100යි. Actually 50 is not needed, even 40 is enough. Why? 40 is enough. The reason is there is a cell border, no? Border 10. And cell spacing is also 10. Cell අතර space එකකුත් තියෙනවා. Therefore having 40 will be enough to center this. You can see. But 30 is slightly left aligned. But 30 දුන්නොත් මදි. පොඩ්ඩක් left එකට තියෙනවා. left එකට බරයි. 40 දුන්නොත් දෙපැත්තෙන් 10 10 තියෙනවා. මෙතන 40 40 ගත්තොත් 10යි 20යි 40යි 60යි. එතකොට 60යි 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 නෑ 42ක් කියනවා. sorry මේ පැත්තෙන් 40 තිබ්බොත් 40 40 80. 80 මෙතන 10 2යි. When you add this, then there will be 100. 100 plus 100 plus 100 will be 3. So please understand these properties: cell spacing, cell padding, cell border. So these are the things. I'm doing little bit faster, I know that. So why? Because I'm giving time you to practice and write the note and also to practice. So let's write the table part also. So these are the tags. You have a lot of tags under table and also a lot of attributes. Lot of tags. Here these are the tags and these are the attributes. Lot of tags, lot of attributes. I'll explain it. So first of all, please write down. Right now you know now you know how the tables, what are the tags used in the tables and how we can handle them. So table is basically the definition. Table row is to start a new row. Table data will start a new table data, and heading is automatically bold and center, that is to start a heading data. And T head and T body is also there, that is for the sectioning part. Actually, I'll explain why this sectioning is important. Currently, for today, I'm not going to use sectioning. Caption, we can use. Caption is actually to add the table heading. So this also asks in the examination where this caption is displayed. Okay, let's add the caption. I'm going to add caption to this table. Inside the table, so let's add the caption tag. Caption. This is a sample. When I add the caption, caption will be displayed top of the table, right? So you can add caption different places. So let's add the caption after the table row. Still, you can see even though this is added there, it will be displayed in the top. Doesn't matter wherever you add, it will be displayed in the top. So if you try to add this tab caption inside the table row, what will happen? Can we add a caption to table row? You can see it will give space, but the caption will be displayed here. If you try to add the caption inside the table data, what will happen? So still, it will be displayed in the table heading. But the proper place to add the caption is not here. The proper place to add the caption is before table row. Anyway, it will be displayed on top of the table outside the board. So remember how the caption is added. Top of the table, it will be displayed outside the border. So this was again a question in the question paper. So I'm just telling you the points that they're highlighting. Call group is to separate, actually that is also sectioning. T head, T body, call group, all for sectioning. So that is very important when you are applying styles. But under the normal circumstances, it's not big use. So if you group them, right, but this is very important when you are adding styles. Attributes, border attribute you saw, it is outline for the cells. And actually it will be outside border. Not for each cell, it is for the outside border. Cell spacing, gap between the cells, cell padding, gap between the cell border and the content. You saw that. BG color, you can add a background color. That is very important. This can be added anywhere. So let's add a background color here to the table, BGCOLOR, and I'm going to mention the color as green. Let's save it and let's open the refresh, and you can see the entire table, including the excluding the border, entire table, including the cell gaps, will be colored in green color. So let's add the same BG color into the row now. When you add that to the row, it will color the row except the cell gaps. It will cover the row except the cell gap. But when you apply to the table, it will color entire table excluding the outside border. Even the cell gaps are covered. But if it is in the row, only the cells in the particular row will be covered. If it is applied to the table data, only the specific data item will be covered. That is how the BG color applies to the table. It can be applied into the row, cell, or into row, cell, or entire table. Next, border color, that is defining the color of the table border. You need to be added in the table tag. You can see the outside border, and inside the thin borders will be given that color when you add the border color. What else? Width and height, that is general. Align is basically alignment, horizontal alignment. It can be left, center, or right. horizontally left, center, or right. Align means vertical align that can be top, middle, or bottom. So let's say, let's add a line. I'm going to add a line, GN, line center. Save it, and you can see when a line is centered, the content will be automatically centered, including the table will be centered. That is the align center. You can add align center to the row table, so that is also possible, right? So let's add this to the row and the specific row content will be ordered. So you can see there's a small gap. If I draw a line, there's a small gap between this A and this D. Because A is center line, D is not center line. That's the reason. So let me align D also. Then you can see D will cross. So if I add align center to this, so now D will also cross this. See, D will also cross. That is aligning in the row. Aligning can be added to a cell as well, or also to the table. When you align the table, the entire table will be aligned. And vertical align can be added to the rows or cells. Let's say align is the vertical align. Let's say it's align is top. When align is top, it will go to, okay, that's not added. Vertical align. Let's try to add that to this one. Still not. So let's try to add to this one. Oh, still not. So why is that? So let me check and let you know. But align is there in tables. Okay, anyway, align is mentioned here as well, but I think for the HTML5 that is removed something. So here you can see the vertical align is mentioned about middle baseline. So let's try baseline. I'm not sure the attributes values, or but align is there anyway. Align baseline. Let's try it. No, still no change. I think it's removed in HTML5, seems right. I couldn't check that because I'm just referring to the previous version of HTML. You can see. So align applied there, but align, yes, align applied there, but it seems the particular property is not no more. It's depreciated. Seems like that. So you can have anyway. You can do this with CSS. It seems it's not working with the current version of HTML per line. So have we applied the same spellings? Yes, I hope. Let's try to copy and paste the same which is in the W3 school. No, still no change. The reason may be, so you can just give a try. The reason maybe it's depreciated in the current version of HTML. We are currently in version number 5. We are using HTML version 5. Okay, so with that, Pute, I think we have come to end of the sessions, today's session. But so you have a small exercise in this tute. So try to do this. This is small exercise that you can do using the things that we have learned today. So try to create this structure as a homework. And take a snapshot and try to create this as a homework and send the code to the WhatsApp, either personal message or to the group. Okay, I'll stop from here for then. Next, see you all next week. Right, good night.